So this man here will be soon to be released from prison after committing the most heinous crime you can think of, after giving a life sentence. But due to a technicality, he only had to do 15 years. The person I'm talking about is Josef Fritzl from Austria, who had committed the crime of kidnapping his own daughter and held her captive for 24 years. And he also fathered 7 children. Now, during his sentencing back in 2009, he was convicted of incest, adult inappropriate contact, as well as coercion, false imprisonment, enslavement, and negligent homicide. Now, after doing 15 years in a special unit for the criminally insane, he is looking at possibly being transferred to a different prison, which will allow him to apply for parole, since he only did 15 years already, and which is the legality of over there, where all you have to do is do 15 years and you're out. As of right now, his medical condition is currently being assessed to see if he can be transferred to a different facility. So for those who don't know who Josef Fritzl is, we're going to go ahead and dive into the story so that we have an understanding of what he actually did. So on August 28th, 1984, Joseph had called his daughter down to the basement to help him refit a door that he had bought down to the basement to whatever he wanted to do with that. And so with her being the kind daughter she was, she helped him out in his project. But little to be known from his daughter is that she did not realize it was actually an ambush. And his daughter's name was Elizabeth Fritzl. Now what Joseph ended up doing was he had knocked her out by using an Ethernet cloth and had placed her into that cellar that he had built down in his basement that nobody knew he ever built. And for the next 24 years, she was held to a torture as well as some inappropriate contact between her and her father, where she ended up having 7 kids by him. Now, during the time she was hidden in that cellar, Joseph had told her to try not to escape because the door was electrified and if she were to touch it, it would unalive her. So on the day that he had put her down in the cellar, he went around and told everybody that she had ran away and she had joined a cult. And also what he ended up doing was he printed out flyers in the hopes of trying to find her, and went to neighboring towns and passed them out, trying to be like the good father, saying like, oh, okay, help me find my daughter. Now, Joseph's wife, who was Rosemary Fritzl, she lived a life of despair because she was sad the fact that she thought her daughter had ran off and joined a cult, not realizing that Joseph had lied to her about everything. Because even though Rosemary believed that her daughter was in some far off place, she didn't realize that her daughter was actually right below her. Another thing that Joseph had actually did was he went to the police department and filed a missing person report. But knowing the police, he knew what they were going to say, in which they said that because she was 18 years old, there was nothing that she can do about it because she was an adult. Now, the other time she was being held hostage, he would father 7 children by her, where she kept 3 of them down in the basement with her, and he would create this ploy where 3 kids magically popped up on her doorstep by saying that, oh, she had dropped these kids off because she not able to take care of them because the cult she had joined. And so Rosemary actually adopted those children. Now, in a memoir that was written by Joseph himself while he was in prison, he had stated that the thoughts of what he'd done constantly circled him and that he had nobody to confide in the whole entire time he was doing all this stuff. He even stated that he would try to distance himself from what he had done by taking long vacations to places like Thailand. And the entire time that he was on vacation, he would leave his victims to deal with rats, sewage, rotten food, as well as power outage. Now, Elizabeth would be able to escape due to the fact that in 2008, she had told her father that one of her children had fell unconscious, which was actually true. And so she told him that the child needed medical attention. And so knowing him, he didn't want a dead body in his hand again. So he went ahead and tried to go to the hospital, but come right back. Now, arriving at the hospital, she told the hospital staff who she was. And they were surprised because they was like, we thought you had ran off to a cult. And that's when she told them the whole entire story of what has been going on for the past 24 years. And along with that, she also told the police exactly what had happened, on top of the fact that he had got her pregnant 7 times, but one of the children passed away, and Joseph ended up cremating that child. Now, shortly after hearing that story, the police went straight over to Joseph's place and arrested him for what he had done to his own daughter. So in 2009, his trial will start, in which his defense team tried to play this case where they had told him that he grew up in a horrible household where his father was an alcoholic and had banned the family when he was 4, leaving his mother to care for him. But during the time he was raised by his mother, she was abusive towards him. He stated that she made him feel like he was Satan, a criminal, and that he was just useless. He even stated that she even forbade him from having any friends, but he said he got his revenge back in 1980 when he stated that he claimed to have locked her in the attic and bricked up the windows before she passed away. But the prosecutors go ahead and make their case by saying that this is not Josef's first time being in front of the judge, because back in his younger days, he actually had a case where he had some unwanted touching of a child before his daughter was even born. And so he was found guilty of his crimes and was sent to a prison for the criminally insane. Now, in a memoir that he had wrote, he had stated that everything he had did felt like a mind game to him that he gotten used to. He said that the idea was so absurd and monstrous to him, but ended up taking shape. In the memoir, he stated that he knew exactly what he needed to do. All he had to do was wait for the right opportunity to strike. So on a rainy Saturday morning, his thoughts came to action when he went ahead and set up his underground prison, which featured a heavy metal door that was hidden behind a shelf in his workroom. He also made sure that he was the only one that had access to that room, but make sure that the door was keyless and code access that only he knew. Now, some of you may be wondering what happened to Elizabeth. After her father was sent to prison, she was given a new name and she was sent to a new place to live at known as Village X because they did not want to release it. And they also had sealed away her new name so that way nobody can track her down. And she is currently living there with her 6 children. And on top of her living in a new location, she was given president level security where she lives in a countryside house with a fence and CCTV all over the place where there are no blind spots, none whatsoever, as well as 24-hour police surveillance. Like the place she lives at is so secure that if you was to wander near her location, you'd be quickly picked up by police within a matter of minutes and escorted away from them. As well as all of her and her children are going through therapy, whereas till today they are still living in the house where they keep all the doors open because of the trauma that they had experienced. And in a report I had found, in 2019, Elizabeth had found love in one of her bodyguards. So if you like stories like these, I like to post at least once or twice a week. So if you want to hear more, just stay tuned to my channel.